All set, sir.
All set.
Good afternoon. I'm now going to call the Wednesday, June 1st, 2022 meeting of the Norfolk County Commissioners to order. I'm going to ask on Thursday, March 12th, 2020, Governor Charles Baker issued an order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 20. That order was effective immediately until it is rescinded or the state of emergency is terminated. On February 12, 2022, by action of the legislature, the order was extended until July 15, 2022. Thank you. I'm going to ask everyone to stand and join me in saluting the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. I'm going to call a roll. Commissioner Stady,
Present.
Commissioner Collins,
Present.
Commissioner Shea is here. We have a quorum. Item number 3, continuation of the public hearing on the fiscal year capital budget proposal, which was opened up last week. We have a full submission here from the various department heads of a myriad of issues that we're going to entertain over the next 5 years in a plan to orderly attack our capital needs. We're required to have this public hearing. After closing the public hearing, it goes to the advisory board. The advisory board meeting is scheduled for next week. We decided last week to continue with 1 week to see if any other department heads wanted to make any other submissions. So having said all that, I'm going to reopen or continue the public hearing from last week. I'll entertain any questions or any comments. Director Cronin, you weren't here last week, but
I do have, thank you, Mr.
we
Chairman.
went
I do
over
have-
it entirely with
Great.
Mr. Buckley.
There is one change. Our friends in engineering have requested to move $10,000 from their computer workstations allocation of $20,000 and move that 10 over to the van fit out. It doesn't change the bottom line. They're simply reducing the amount that they plan to spend on computers because they already secured 4 this year. So it's a wash. Other than that, we've not heard from any other departments regarding changes to this particular FY23 capital plan.
What's the, if I may, Mr. Chairman? Well, if I may, what's the total then for the capital request?
$1 million.
$1 million.
Mhm.
Yep.
Exactly.
Do we need a motion to
Yes.
move that?
Close the hearing and forward it to the advisory board. Is the
Well,
motion
first accept the proposed
change?
FY23 capital plan,
Okay,
and then you
okay.
close the hearing.
Okay. So there's no other information for anyone else
No, sir.
that was missing?
No, sir.
All right.
No, in the engineering, in the engineering department, they're getting in the van this year,
And FY20, yes, that's correct.
next year.
Yeah.
Okay. And this money, we're just taking it out of another fund because they're gonna need,
To fit it out, correct.
okay. Okay, that's the only change. That's gonna reflect the change.
Yes, it does.
Okay. I think we're ready to go again. This is a combination. This is a new way of doing it. With formalizing something that we've done in the past, but never really brought it out. I think it's a recommendation of the Abraham's group that we do it in this manner.
And I'll see you
For lack of
again.
a better word, I call it a wish list, but a lot of it is gonna come up fruition hopefully over the next 5 years.
I'll come back in
who
October
knows?
pursuant to the guidelines from the Abraham's group and propose an additional FY24/5-year plan.
Okay.
I'll refresh the view and give you a new understanding of how things are shaking out going forward. And now that ARP is in play, I'll always include that because I think that's complementary to your plan.
Makes sense.
Okay, I have no other comment. I think we're ready to go.
All right.
And next week is our meeting with the board.
That's right, agricultural school. Yep.
So, Mr. Chairman, I would move that we Close the hearing?
No, we have to
First, I'm sorry.
accept.
Approve.
Okay, move that we approve or accept,
Accept and approve.
okay, accept and approve the Norfolk County Capital Plan for fiscal 23 as presented and as
Amended.
amended this afternoon regarding this hearing.
Second.
Total sum to be $1 million.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion about the fiscal 23 capital improvement plan? Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Acceptance. Thank you. We'll forward that on.
Okay, motion.
That's a motion to close the hearing then?
Right.
Regarding the capital, fiscal 23 capital plan?
Second.
Motion made and seconded to close the public hearing on the fiscal 23 capital budget plan. All in favor?
Aye.
This public hearing is closed. Thank you. Number 4, minutes from the open session meeting of May 25th, 2022.
I didn't see any problem with it.
No, good.
No, it was
Okay, I'd move that we approve the minutes of 5/25/22.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to accept the open session minutes of the May 25th, 2022 meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Number 5, minutes of the open session public hearing. I'm sorry, we did that.
No, we didn't do that one. You're right. Minutes of the open session public hearing of May 16th, 2022. That's the one we had at the Aggie.
Right.
So we don't need to do.
We actually need to do it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And just as an.
Oh, May 16th. Okay, that's right.
You were not at that meeting.
That's correct. I'm not going to vote. Minutes of the open session public hearing held at the agricultural school on May 16th, 2022 for approval.
Could I ask one more
Question.
week to do this,
Yes.
please? Just because I really want to look them over carefully. And I
Okay, you want me to go
apologize.
by or do you want to pause? Either way.
We'll just table it for now.
We table it for
Table
next week.
Table number 5.
Right, thank you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate
Okay,
it.
item 6.
I will look at that.
Item 6, public comment. Director Cronin, have you heard from anyone on public comment?
I have not, sir.
Is there anyone on the web today that has any public comment relative to today's meeting of June 1st, 2022? Thank you. Last call for public comment. Seeing none, we'll move to number 7, appointments. We have none. Number 8, old business. We have none. Number 9, personnel considerations. We have one
Wait,
at Wilson and one at the school.
all right. Mr. Chairman, I'll move for the Wallace Recreational Facility, the notice of a rate increase for Aiden O'Sullivan of Quincy as seasonal grounds crew employee for the new rate to be 16.5 effective 6/2/22.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to increase the rate for Aiden O'Sullivan as a seasonal ground crew employee. All in favor?
Aye.
Next, agricultural school.
Right, Mr. Chairman, I move the notice of resignation for Tara DeFonso of Woonsocket, Rhode Island, as an executive assistant to the business manager. That will be effective June 6th, 22.
Second.
Second, all in favor? No,
Aye.
sorry. Aye, but this is the notice of resignation of Tara DeFranzo as executive assistant to the business manager
Right,
for her transfer to the maintenance department.
that's correct.
Scheduled
That's correct.
September 6th. All in favor?
Aye. Now, will it be a notice of appointment for her
For next week.
for next week? Okay, I see. Got it. Okay.
Didn't we
Makes
do
sense.
it last week?
I thought we had.
We did it
I
last
thought-
We might have done it
I
last
thought we
week.
did.
We did it
Okay.
last week. She's all
Okay,
set.
She's all set. Good.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that came out. Okay, good.
Number 10, payroll and expense warrants for approval.
I understand we have 4 of them. I'll move the following. Last week. Yeah, thank you, Michelle. Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. First item, 22-48, payroll of the county, $140,264.55. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Next.
Number 2, 22-48, parentheses 24, payroll of the school, the amount of $335,888.46. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Next.
Third item, 22-48, parentheses 24.1, payroll of the school, $89,890.10. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
The final one is 060122, the expense of the county in the amount of $145,828.05. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
That concludes the payroll and warrant, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Number 11, fiscal 22 fifth supplemental appropriation for approval. Director Crowley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, I have before you a request to fund very few items for our final supplemental request of FY 22. This request has two different levels. One is to fund items from our capital surplus, while the second half is a request to transfer funds within existing appropriations. Very briefly, as we head into the back end of FY 22 to close, our surplus was approximately $224,000. Before us includes three new items. The first is the Wallaston recreational netting additional cost of $6,000. As commissioners may know, there was an insurance claim on the property, and the cost to repair the netting, most of it was covered by our insurance claim. You'll see the transfer below. This is above that. So this is an additional cost to repair that netting. Second of all, $60,000 for the Old River Place prevailing wage impact. The commissioners may recall that this project originally began in February of 2021. Funds were appropriated then to begin the process of designing and ultimately fixing the drainage issues over across the street. We recently discovered that the contract that was bid did not include prevailing wage. So we've done some cost estimates that will obviously result in a proposed additional value of $60,000 to complete the work at Old River Place. And then finally, the Dedham Superior Court front railings. As we prepare Dedham Superior Court for its best look this coming September, we recognize that the front railings are in very difficult shape. There's a lot of rusting going on. The rust is starting to deface the ground beneath it. It's a project that I believe, according to speaking with Nancy, has been put off for at least 4 or 5 years.
Yes, since 2017.
And we received a soft estimate of cost of about $145,000 to complete that work. So those three items are presented to you to help close out our FY 22 activity. Following that are transfer funds from within the Wallaston recreational netting insurance. So that's the $28,274 we received from our insurance company that will be transferred to our general fund. And the agricultural school presents a total of $270,000 in transfers, $180,000 coming out of professional salaries permanent, as well as $90,000 coming out of teachers' professional salaries permanent, going into temporary wages of $270,000. So overall, I just wanted to present that with these expenses and transfers, the county will end FY 22 regarding its supplemental funds with approximately $13,512 to the good.
Any questions?
Yes.
I have one too. Go ahead.
Yeah. So maybe I'm missing something. I mean, another copy. So I understand the total net leaves us around 13,000 for the good, right? I get that.
That's right.
Can you, I'm just confused. You said the railing is terrible and it's going to cost us 145,000. Yet you're calling it a surplus, or am I reading something wrong there?
So we began before this exercise, the county had about $224,000 in surplus.
Okay.
So we're spending $211,000, Dick, as you can see at the top
I got that.
of
Yeah.
that, which resulted in $13,000.
Okay. I got that.
211 is the $6,000 for the netting additional cost.
Oh, it's additional cost.
60,000
Okay.
for the Old River Place, and the 145,000 from Dedham Superior.
Okay, I got it. It's from capital surplus, and then you broke that down. I got it now.
And I
So
think-
that's coming off the net surplus we had.
That's correct.
That's bringing it down.
That's-
And then is the school washing out some of it by transfers?
That's right.
So their net is only 28,000?
No, sir. They're actually cleaning up their books. They're moving $270,000 out of professional salaries and for custodial staff and classroom teachers. They're cleaning up their books.
So they're,
for the year.
okay.
Yep. The Wallaston recreational netting, we received a check from our insurance company for 28,000. This transferred into the general fund.
Okay,
I forgot to mention something. Up in the upper half, and I want to give Nancy Rockwell some credit. We were talking about the Old River Place job yesterday. This additional funding is unfortunate, given how far along we are in planning this project. This could very well fall into an ARPA category project.
But we're gonna look at it, right?
We are. Originally, I said to Nancy yesterday, I'm a little hesitant to think it may be because the project started before the funds were appropriated by Congress. But I spoke to Clifton Larson this morning and they said it is eligible. And despite the fact that we've spent funds along the road towards design, we could apply the $60,000 overage against an ARPA grant. So I'm going to ask for your permission and the advisory board's permission to appropriate these funds, but I'm going to go to ARPA first. There's a very good chance that this money will not be used.
okay.
Got it?
Which should mean then the surplus might be 73
Yeah.
or whatever. it
Right.
might be. Okay.
Exactly.
All right, good, I'm good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I have a question to John. I hope I'm not speaking out of turn. On the front railings, is it possible to add on to the work that's being done at the courthouse right now?
No.
It's not?
No, it's different scope.
Okay. Is it possible? Okay, if it's a different scope, we gotta start from scratch.
Yep.
What do you think the time frame of that would be?
Well, it's going to be tight.
Might be nice if we could tie it into the ruling, it's
I
been
know.
hanging around.
Look, well, we're as soon as the advisory board approves this funding, presuming they do, we'll move to get it out to bid, hopefully by the end of the month. We are a slave, obviously, to the environment of contractors that can perform this work. Olson Corporation, which is doing the roof, I would imagine would be interested in the job. They can bid for it as well. So we'll see how things shake out, but we won't
Okay,
know.
well, we can't add it on and tell them, well, you're here to do this.
No, we
Okay,
cannot.
all right, I'm just trying to,
Actually, I was
I'm
planning,
trying to get, come on up, Nancy. This is Nancy Rockwell,
I was
purchasing
planning on putting it advertising for tomorrow because I can advertise it
Prior to authorization,
prior,
that'll save time.
as long as we have funds to award. I can't award without funds, but I can advertise it.
Do we have
Okay.
funds for it?
Well, we do within the surplus. Yeah, it's just going to depend on
Yeah.
authorization. They'll save it a week or two.
All right.
Thank you, Nancy.
okay.
Thanks, Nancy.
We don't have any further questions
Do you want a motion for this?
on the
Yes, I do.
fifth supplemental
Sure.
appropriation.
Mr. Chairman, with your permission, I'll move that we approve the fiscal 22 fifth supplemental request in the amount of $211,000.
It's actually, if I could actually give you a number, it's 509,274.
Sorry, 509.
274.
Yeah, corrected. My motion will be corrected
That's fine.
and I'll use that number. that you
509,
presented.
74.
509,274, yes, sir.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the fiscal 22 fifth supplementary request. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Number 12, opera warrants for approval. We have no opera warrants for today.
Not this week, as I mentioned. Franklin has two that are virtually done. I worked on them late last night. They have a third grant that needs some attention, and my hope is that Frank will have all three of their grants before you next week.
Okay.
Bellingham is close, and honestly, didn't have time yesterday to check out the status of the remaining grants to see who's close, but I did receive a call. I've yet to return it from Wellesley. Megan Jopp is looking for some advice on an extremely large balance of a project in Wellesley. I don't think she's close to having it approved, but I'll give her some assistance nevertheless. So next week you can expect to see Franklin's three and possibly Bellingham's. The total of Franklin's exceed $3 million.
How
So
much?
or exceeds $3 million.
Wow.
So overall, you'll see some more money. Incidentally, what Wellesley's interest is for road work, so infrastructure. More on that next week. Other than that, that is all I have on ARPA this week, Mr. Chairman. I do want to mention something for the record. There's some dialogue with the Norfolk County managers relative to the county's grant agreement. It currently claims and states that grants are available until December 31st, 2024. And any obligations associated with approved projects have until December 31st, 2026 to be paid. So what Clifton Larson has been advising us and the other counties on is that obligation is for mainly infrastructure jobs like construction and other large scale projects that require out planning and consequently some time to pay the bills. But we do have some questions coming from Norfolk County managers relative to whether or not that rule can be stretched to include service contracts. So for example, if you had the need to hire a mental health advocate and you're looking to fund it up through to December 31st, 2026, can you do that? There's some interpretive, I don't want to say conflict, but there's some interpretive understanding that has to be reached between Clifton Larson and frankly myself. I've scheduled a conference call with them tomorrow to get a firm understanding of how we can advise our communities on how this rule can be interpreted. It's not in focus for a lot of communities right now because we're still very much at the beginning of ARPA, but certainly as we get closer and closer and people are starting to plan their projects, they're going to want a very clear understanding of why our grant agreement cannot go until December 31st, 2026. Currently, it ends on 2024. So it's just a nuance. It's a legal nuance. We'll have to dig deep into the final rule and some interpretations of how best to make use of the funds to inform our communities of the best way to go forward. Okay, so that's it for now. I'll let you know if I hear anything more on that.
But any of these rules which are promulgated by the U.S. Treasury, correct,
Right.
are subject to, I mean, as we get deeper into this nationally, maybe they realize that we can't get this completed. I mean, we're going to be subject to whatever
Mhm.
they promulgate. And we-
Correct.
As we see it, our cities and towns are asking questions. It's got to be going on everywhere. So
You would think it would, Commissioner. I think Norfolk County's had a very vibrant experience relative to how our communities are interpreting our grant program, reading the final rule, using ARPA funds on their own side through NEU resources, and then challenging what we have laid out as the ground rules. I'm not hearing the same volume of feedback from the other counties when we speak to them. And again, it could be a factor that Norfolk County is so far so much further along with the distribution of funds and the activity of our communities than the other counties. Maybe they'll get that down the road, but so far we're the ones that are getting a lot of the feedback, not the other counties.
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
yes,
are we still meeting with the other counties next week? Is it next week?
So that's a director's meeting.
Okay.
Frank Balzer
I thought that was for us. Okay.
scheduled that. Bill Buckley has been trying to get the other counties to confirm their interest in joining us in late June at the golf course.
Okay,
And he
okay.
mentioned to me yesterday when I came back that he hasn't gotten a lot of feedback yet from the other counties. Kind
But
of
that
radio
might be,
silence.
on that topic you're talking about would be a topic.
Absolutely.
At your meeting. That's all- what?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, it's interesting you said that because we were looking at the 9th of June, and no one got back to me until literally 15 minutes ago, where Barnstable and Plymouth do have significant delegations available. So I will work to finalize that today, but you should be all set.
Wait, so is that for the Billy, I'm sorry,
That's for the commissioners.
Jim, is that for us or is that the directors?
That's for you guys.
I thought so. Okay. I had June 9, I don't know.
But there's also a director's meeting that's scheduled on the
Okay.
14th.
Okay, all right. So let us know. You'll let us know, obviously.
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks.
is that the 9th?
Yeah, June 9th. I had it in the book. All right.
We just got through our dreaded May calendar, but okay, that's all right.
You okay with that day? Thursday?
I am,
Yeah, okay, good.
as long as it's noon.
Yeah.
Got two things at night, okay. Okay, that concludes opera of today. Number 13, bid openings, 130, I have none. Number 14, contract awards. We have an award today for roof repairs at the agricultural high school. Nancy Rockwell.
Yes, and that contract would be recommended to be awarded to Coral Contracting Incorporated in the amount of $120,670 for the roof repairs at the agricultural high school, the admin building,
Okay, when did we open these? A couple weeks?
May 11th.
May 11th. And we had, the name of this company is
Corolla Contracting,
Coral,
Corolla, like the Toyota Corolla.
Corolla.
Yes.
Do we have any history with this company?
I checked their references came back fine. They are actually our new on-call roofing contractor
Okay,
also.
okay.
So we haven't really had personal experience with them yet.
And they're from where?
From Winthrop.
Okay. Any questions about awarding
Yes.
Commissioner Stadium?
I mean, so just correct me if I'm wrong. Is this the one that we had and you didn't like it and you pulled it back and rebid it? Wasn't it?
Oh, I didn't rebid it.
No,
It was just I had not gotten the references for them.
okay. Is this the one?
This is a new one now.
Okay.
Yes. And
Oh, okay.
I held the on-call because I was waiting for references to come in.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yep.
So-
I
And
remember
then,
that.
so that's why that was held, not for any reason on their
okay.
part.
All right, good.
So I have our in-house contract. I have the contract that will, the order contractor is also signing,
Okay.
and the notice to proceed.
All right, so we need a motion, all right?
Motion to accept the Corolla Corporation, do the work and then go from there. yeah.
There you go. So I make a motion, Mr. Chairman, with your permission, to award the contract for the roof at the Norfolk Aggie School,
Mhm.
so-called Aggie School, to Corolla Contracting in Winthrop, Mass, for the amount of $120,670 for roof repairs as prepared and as described.
Second. Motion made and seconded. I have a question. Did we do the work this summer? If we go forward today?
Yes, we're giving them a 90 days completion, and we'd really like to see it. And we all know there's supply issues, but we'd like to see everything completed before school goes back in
Yeah,
session.
absolutely, if we could. Okay. Motion made and seconded to award the roof repairs at the Norfolk County Agricultural High School on what building?
Is the administration building?
Administration.
Oh, yes, the one out front, the administration building to the Corolla Corporation of Winthrop, Mass. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Okay. Thank you, Nance.
You need his all signed, right, Nancy?
Please, and then over here also.
No problem. Yes, that.
Number 16, report of the county director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Briefly, while I was away, Assistant Director Bill Buckley coordinated some communication with the Stoughton District Court presiding justice, as well as the trial court facility administrators, to determine what days of the week, and hours of the day are most feasible to complete the work involving the rooftop unit replacements. It seems that we've had a breakthrough, and we have 2 clear days, as well as several hours and other days when the vendor can conduct their work. We will now ask our friends in facility maintenance to engage the vendor to begin the work without delay and progress on the 2 days per week that they can conduct their work. So monitor the progress
That's
for the
great.
next couple of weeks.
Really good.
Commissioner Shea, through you, if you wouldn't mind, I would like to make a recommendation. The commissioners consider the week of July 4th, 2022. This would be a July 6th traditional Wednesday afternoon meeting.
Fifth or sixth, I'm sorry.
So I believe it is the 6th is a Wednesday, and I would recommend that the commissioners consider, because of the holiday week, taking that week off.
So it is the 6th.
It's the 6th, right?
Okay, yeah.
So we just continue that meeting to the following week.
That's correct.
The 13th. Okay. Yeah,
Any objection to that?
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Is it,
Totally fine.
so we can adjust your calendars. We're giving everyone notice. We
That's
won't be
great.
meeting the week of the 4th, but the meeting date is July 6th.
Right. Excellent.
Okay.
Pick it up on the 13th.
So, okay. I mean, we're here every week, but I don't
Yeah.
want
That's
Very
good.
good. Make arrangements for that.
That is. a
Okay, all in
yeah.
favor?
Aye.
Questions? No.
Today closes the FY22 capital spending plan feedback loop. I've received some emails from our department heads. I'll follow up with all of them before the end of June to determine how far along they progressed with their various spending plan projects. During the 3-quarter mark, there was some progress reported. I thought that everybody seemed to be on track to spend all of their $1 million or so capital dollars for FY22. Before I left on vacation, the commissioners just be advised I had an entry discussion with the Abrahams Group and their partner, Beth Costa, I believe her name is, who will be doing the internal control plan that is part of the financial services contract previously approved by the commissioners and the advisory board. Ms. Costa's got years and years of experience in financial management at the municipal level. I explained to her briefly what I want out of an internal control plan. We went into some detail of I gave them a template of the Department of State Police internal control plan to follow. They're all pretty much the same in terms of the content. The format, content is what's customized. So she'll work with us over the next several weeks, month or so to get that done. Commissioners should be advised that yesterday I approved and Nancy sent out the appraisal services contract request. We sent it out to 4 vendors to consider the work associated with the Quincy District Court appraisal. This step, as you may recall, will help us understand, once the appraiser's on hand, what would be the highest and best use of that property, and use that information for communication, ultimately negotiation with the Commonwealth on that property disposition. Let's see. The collective bargaining discussions with the 3 collective bargaining units is ongoing. We have our next meeting scheduled for July 10th, and I believe we have another one a week later. We're trying to pick up the pace a little bit and move some of our remarks and exchange of information along in June to expedite hopefully a favorable outcome on these contracts.
When's the next meeting? I'm sorry.
June 10th.
June 10th. Thank you.
And just as a reminder, commissioners, you do understand there's an advisory board meeting June 8th at the agricultural school. I'm told it will be another hybrid meeting. 6 p.m. I believe.
Right.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Okay, any questions of the county director?
Yep, Mr. Chairman, if I could,
Yes.
just a couple, and no need for an answer, just a thought. As we draw it down to the end of the fiscal year,
Mhm.
and I remember we had a policy about vacation time that certain people had in the books. If you can give us an update on that, maybe next time, to see how we're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Just to make sure we're on track of that. The other one might not be your area, but I remember the report we had on the reimbursement on the trial court. I'd like to see how we're doing on that, moving into the new month, the last month of the year. The reimbursement we get from the trial court from, in terms of our expenses, we give them, we're supposed to be getting a check before the end of the year?
Phil's on the Zoom right now. We could ask Phil
Oh.
right now, maybe.
Is he there? Phil? Huh? Is he there? Maybe not.
He's gone.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, my mic's not working.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Not
Yeah,
putting
those
you on
payments
spot,
go right
just-
to the treasurer's office. I don't get the payments.
Okay,
They wire them right in.
okay.
But we're on schedule to receive.
Right, I mean, we haven't received the fourth quarter yet.
That's what I was
It
wondering about.
usually comes in right at the end of the year.
Okay, that's what I was wondering about.
Yeah, we're on
Just checking.
schedule.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you very much. All right, that's all I had. That was it. Taylor?
Okay, I have nothing else, and we have number 17, any items we didn't reasonably anticipate would be discussed. Now's the time. I have none. Keep in mind, we're going to take July 6th off.
We're continuing the July 6th meeting to the fall.
Right, we'll manage our calendar accordingly, because it'll be here before you know it, and we're on next Monday night with the advisory board.
Next Wednesday night.
Next Wednesday.
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 Right.
Why did we say the 6th? I'm sorry.
No,
The 8th,
the 8th. The advisory was the 8th.
I'm sorry.
That's okay, that's all right. And then the possible county meeting is the 9th,
No.
possibly.
That's good.
Next week's a busy week.
That's all right.
Do you need like authorization when the time comes to stamp documents that week we're off? Or just,
We'll ask for it when we need it.
When we need
Yeah,
it.
likely for
okay,
warrant.
okay, yeah, for warrants, something like that.
Okay, I'll have a motion to adjourn.
I'll move, Mr. Chairman, we adjourn at 1:37.
Second.
Close enough.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
It is a vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next week we have a regular meeting. Thank you.